Well, Dave, the Jägermeister Workbench sponsored Hummingbird telling us about Off the Deep End, and certainly, as we do every week, we got to talk about deep dropping, deep fishing.
Bottom fishing for snappers.
Tell me.
Well, first off, we're gonna, there's three things that are important right off the bat. One was anytime you're bottom fishing, you have to be on the spot.
Right.
Make sure you got a good bottom machine, Hummingbird, good machine. Make sure you get on the spot. If you're not on the spot, if you're 100 yards off the spot, you might as well be a mile off the spot. If you're 20 feet off the spot, you might as well be a mile off the spot in some spots. Be on the spot. Use a circle hook. Especially when we're fishing for snapper, if we catch a little one, we want to let it go. A circle hook has a less chance of finding a bad spot and hurting the fish real bad. If we use a circle hook, it'll usually catch him in the jaw. If we catch a small one, we can let him go without hurting him too bad. Not only that, circle hooks work really good when you're bottom fishing. I'd use them no matter what. And not only that, don't jerk on the rod when you're snapper fishing. Wind, wind, wind. If you're jerking, all you're doing is nothing really, because if you're in any water over 90 feet, you're not even getting a stretch out, before you start doing that. Now, you can jig for snappers. We got a lot of jigs here, and a lot of guys are jigging for them now.
Right.
But generally, most people use a bait. And if you're using a bait, you're going to use 3 different rigs. And the first one here is called the chicken rig. And be careful, because a chicken rig, it just has a bunch of hooks. It's called a gang of hooks on it. And this is like 60-pound fluorocarbon leader. And if you notice, these hooks don't have to be that big. These are J hooks, but they're not that big. So you can catch a really large snapper with a decent size. These are probably a double strength, short shank hook. And if you're, meat fishing, that's a really good way to fish with this is called a chicken rig with 3 droppers on it. A commercial guy used the same rig, except he's got like 20 droppers on it.
Right.
And he can catch a lot more than we can. And also, the next one that you'll use, this was either for a live bait or a dead bait. It's called a knocker rig or a fish finder rig. And what it is you got a weight that slides right all the way down to the hook. And you can have a big live bait pinned on here, or even a big piece of dead bait. But once the fish picks it up, you let him run with it, and your line will slide right up. This weight will slide, and the fish can take off, and you can feel him take, and you let him run, and then just start winding.
And the last rig?
And this is a live bait rig. And what you'll have on a live bait is you'll have a swivel where your weight will come down and knock on the swivel, and then you'll have a nice big piece of leader with a circle hook on it that stretches out.
And that way the weight doesn't bang up against the
Exactly.
hook, and the fish see the weight laying there. It
Right,
looks more natural.
and your live bait will be a little bit away from the weight.
Got it.
Now, if you're going to be doing, there's 3 knots that you can tie to make all these rigs, and they're real simple knots. The first one is called the dropper loop. If you hold on to that end, what you do is to make those loops to hang the hooks on, you make a loop, and then you start making little wind overs.
Right.
Like that. We can do this big red line. You can see it a little better.
Right.
And then you pass this loop that you made through the middle. And if you do this right, which is hard to do
on
TV, it stretches all the way down. And then you can pass your hook eye through there and have it on a double, or you could just clip one of these and tie the hook on if you want a really long dropper loop.
I got it.
And that's a real.
I like that.
Yeah, you put 3 in a row, and those are your dropper loops. And also, I said 3 knots. We're probably not going to have time to do all 3. If you learn how to tie a loop in a knot, and this is just a regular overhand loop knot. Make a loop, put it through 3 times, and you can attach weights.
Right.
You can attach this to your swivel as your leader connection.
Right.
You don't have to use a crimp, but that's a 100% loop knot, and you can attach that thing. You can attach your bank sinker to the bottom, or you could use that at the top of your rig to put a swivel on it.
Got it. Good job, Dave.
No worries, man.
I've learned.
I probably went too fast.
No.
But
you know what? They
we'll
can
see how it
email
works.
you at Marlin Magazine.
They can watch it over and over again in slow motion.
Watch it on the repeats or YouTube or whatever.
There you go.